all the cinephiles, freaks and weirdos, tapeheads, ghouls and ghosts, love to tune in and listen to Psychotronic Coast to Coast. Skin Slip and Owen Neal are going to reveal their thoughts on movies that most people don't dare to watch. Psychotronic. 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 And welcome back to another episode of Psychotronic Coast to Coast. With me, of course, as always, is my buddy Owen Neal, and we are going to reveal our thoughts on movies that most won't watch. Anyway, so this week we continued our WrestleMania extravaganza, which originally was going to be 4 films, but we're like, we're gonna run out of wrestling movies real quick. We do that. And we plan to be doing this podcast for a while. So we decided that it's gonna be a double feature. So last week's movie plus this week's movie combined to be our WrestleMania special, which will be released probably by the time next WrestleMania comes around.
Yeah, considering WrestleMania's already gone by.
Yeah, what a good one it was. Anyway, so we watched the WWE Studios movie Countdown from 2016, starring Dolph Ziggler, with a small part by Kane, and also co-stars Catherine Isabelle, who fans of Psychotronic Coast to Coast would know from movies such as Ginger Snaps and Ginger Snaps 2. She was in, I've already forgotten the other movie, American Mary. That was the other one. It was a really, really important film that everyone should have seen. She's also in Freddy vs. Jason and Disturbing Behavior, and Uwe Boll's Rampage. She's also in Snow Day, which we'll be watching on the channel at some point, and See No Evil 2. So she's in a bunch of movies. Also, she's in Bones, which we totally got to do for the show also.
Good lord.
I know, right? But the important part is it stars Dolph Ziggler, proving once again that Dolph Ziggler is a better comedian than he is an actor. So
yeah, he was pretty bland in this.
Yep, just generic cop action here. Like, the trailer makes you think this is fucking sudden death of WWE, which, by the way, would have been a great fucking premise if the first 30 minutes of this movie were set up to the whole situation that there is a bomb underneath the ring or something, right? And they have to go and capture the guy before the bomb goes off. And blah, blah, blah. It's sudden death in a fucking WWE ring. Like, it's so easy. How did they fucking drop the ball and make this pile of shit? Owen, why don't you take us through this so we can figure this out? Maybe we'll figure it out when we get through it. Huh?
All right. So it starts off with someone talking Russian / broken English.
Yes.
At a boat place. Makes boats, fixes boats, whatever you're supposed to be doing there.
It was a boat place, yeah.
Dolph and some bald dude I never really paid attention to show up.
It's his partner, but his partner's kind of a dick.
Yeah, and the Russian dude is already smelling out. These guys are cops.
Mm-hmm.
So to prove that he's not a cop, he shoots the bald guy in the chest.
Yep.
Which the Russian guy points out was like, "Why didn't you shoot him in the head like a soldier?" He's like, stop the heart instantly, no bleeding.
Because I'm not a soldier. I'd rather stop the heart and stop the bleeding. That was his line. I was like, what? No. No.
That was good enough for the Russian guy.
I'd like to point out that he didn't even shoot the guy in the heart. He shot him in the shoulder. Clearly, plain as day. Right here. Which, by the way, still not your heart. Your heart's over here, guys. It's right about here. Not here, but here. Owen can't see. He's got a different camera angle. For those who are watching that, the camera for Owen is right there. He sees you guys looking at me. So he sees the back of my head.
I also can't hear the theme songs. That's why I'm just sitting there blank face while you dance.
Yep. Yeah. You should just dance along until I stop dancing, and then that's when I stop dancing. When I start pointing at you, it says your name. So I go this way. Sorry. So you know that. You can see me. Oh, you can't see that in the other camera, can you? Oh yeah, I guess you can a little bit. I'm actually literally pointing at you, by the way, when I do that. No one can see on camera. I'm pointing in his towards the side, but in reality, I'm pointing at the Godzilla camera, and he's seeing me point at him. So anyway, so Dolph Ziggler, he's a cop.
So he's undercover. There's a arms deal going down, and then cops roll in, arrest everybody. Happy days, but not so much. They bring in this woman,
Catherine Isabel. I don't know
forget
her
who
character's name, but
they call her something. Dream Killer, Stone Cold,
something like that. Yeah.
because she's brought in to investigate when cops do bad stuff. And apparently shooting your partner, even though he didn't die or really get hurt, is a no-no. Even though he needed to make sure the deal went down, to arrest the guy. All right. So he's under investigation. They took away his badge, his gun. They're going to look into it.
Right. That's correct. Kane plays the angry cop and the angry senior officer.
Chief.
Yeah, he's angry chief in this film. Because it's got all the tropes, right? So, it's got the cop whose child is dead and now he's divorced, and him and his ex-wife are still mourning the loss of their son. I mean, as one would, but it's really tritely done, and it's mentioned once at the very beginning of the film, and that's it, really. Like that scene is kind of like it's supposed to give emotional weight, but I know, but that's next, and the emotional weight is not really there.
Yes. Because, after his badge and gun's taken, he goes to his desk, grabs his mail, grabs an envelope, hands it to this girl to study, and then he goes home or to his ex-wife's house. That's never really clear. But, the kid's dead. They sit in the room and cry, and then he sleeps in the bed with his kid's wizards. There was a lot of wizard stuff in there.
Yeah, it was cool. I guess kid really likes wizards, yeah.
But he gets a text, come to work immediately, and they open up that envelope, and there's a website they go to, and they have to type in Mikey, which is the dead kid's name.
Of course.
And it's a live feed of a kid with a bomb strapped to it, and some instructions. Your standard, no cops, bring this money to this place, which is the WWE event.
Yeah, which doesn't make any sense because it starts off with Connor and Victor being announced for tag team match with the Lucha Dragons, and the next thing you see is Brock Lesnar jumping on the apron. So suddenly it's the main event.
Yeah. Also, the shots.
Like I bet you there was more sequence within that in the stadium. I bet you there's a big chunk that they cut out and decided to go to the second half of the movie like assholes.
Yeah. So they give him a bag with $1 million and a certain amount of extra money and some change, which they've explained later, but I still didn't give a shit. It was like $2 million and some change. And so he goes there. He goes to the seat. The guy leaves the cell phone. He picks it up, which is funny because he's like, "Hey, you left your phone." He says, "Sounds like whatever." And then he immediately just starts checking the guy's phone.
Right? Like,
there's a message like,
Why isn't your phone pin locked? Because then they have to get a fucking lawyer to get you to unlock it.
Yeah, he's like, cop behind you, black hat. Told you no cops. So they make him leave.
He goes up front. Somehow he can see that he's
I like that this was all at a live event where they could easily just have watched the live event and seen the guy pick up the bag and everything.
Yeah. I don't know.
Because he wasn't too worried about it.
Yeah.
He drops the bag up front. He's supposed to leave. That's all he's supposed to do because he still doesn't have his badge back at this point.
Correct. He's playing. No. He has his cop badge. He gets his cop badge taken. He got his badge taken away after this incident, didn't he?
Nope. Before.
Oh, you're right. God, the movie's very bland. I'm sorry, I'm mixing up the details here.
And they only brought him in because that thing's like, I want him to bring the money here.
Oh,
right. Ticket under his name. So they're just
trying to implicate him in the whole.
You're an errand boy, nothing more. So yeah, someone comes up, grabs the bag. They put they had to tell us because we're dumb that there was a tracker in the lining of the bag. So he goes into the bathroom, switches the bag. Obviously, Dolph wants to go in there, and Kane's like, "Don't you do it,
Yeah, don't you
Aaron
do it.
boy."
Okay, Glenn Jacobs. Jesus.
So they decided to send a cop in there, which immediately he just gets shot in the chest,
That's great.
and then that
I
guy's
literally,
running off
that's
with
like
the
the
money.
funniest part of the movie. I laughed super hard at that.
He shoots a couple more people, runs past. I can never remember his name. The Russian wrestler
Rusev.
who's doing a
Rusev
promo.
Machka. Sorry.
So Dolph tries to run by. He has a gun out, and see in the trailer it makes it look like he's in on it because he's
Yeah,
Russian.
yeah. They do. They make
He's
it look
just
like he's just happens to be there, and yeah. So instead, he
That's
just
why we kind of set further on the whole idea of the whole thing took place there.
yeah.
So like, oh, the wrestlers are in on it.
The
But
entire trailer took place at the fucking WWE live event, and it's over with before the 30-minute mark.
Yeah. He just tries to stop him because he has a gun and just gets super kicked. I guess be like, oh, he did his finishing move. Okay, look.
I'd like to point out that when they were marketing this movie, they turned Dolph Ziggler heel. So, what's the fucking point?
Watch this movie where he's not a bad guy.
And WWE Studios, I'd like to point out, has lost money for WWE every year since they've been around.
Yeah, they end up in the rafters, which is clearly just an empty arena, an empty ring.
You can see the clearly empty seats everywhere.
But that's when they will cut to like Brock Lesnar getting in the ring.
Yeah, just suddenly he's jumping in the apron, cut back to more empty arena ceiling shit, which you can clearly see in the bottom, in the edge of the frame, that there's fucking nobody in the seats anywhere.
I'm also pretty sure you can't just bring a backpack to a WWE event.
Not without it getting searched like crazy. So hey, why do you have
$2
$1
million?
million? Yeah, why do you have $2 million in your backpack?
Go on in. You're gonna go buy some merch, obviously.
Right? Yeah, right.
But yeah, guy's pissed off because there's cops there. He's gonna. Did we mention there's a bomb strapped to a kid?
Yeah, that's the kid. Yeah. If not,
If
that's
not,
the
it's kind
premise.
of important.
The countdown
part.
is they have to get to find out where the kid is, and they're trying to
But
get this guy to tell him, and he's running away.
he's gonna dial the phone, blow the kid up, and Dolph shoots him in the head.
Because he couldn't just shoot him in the fucking arm. Because I like to point out, he's like freeze, and the guy's like picking up his phone, looking at it, dialing. Like, what the fuck? Can you just super kick him already?
So now there's a dead Russian who's the only one that knows where this kid is. And even though he could have dialed and bombed it, it's going to blow up in 6 hours regardless. So now they have a countdown.
So they, instead of going with a sudden death, they went with Die Hard with Vengeance, but bored us even more.
So now the Kane's pissed off at him because he wasn't supposed to be doing anything.
Right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
The girls.
Hey, Kane does his part really well. He's actually plays a grumpy asshole very well. So, you know.
And
kudos to
so
Kane for being the best fucking wrestling actor right now in this movie.
He's like, I don't got a badge. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to go find where this kid is. And the girl jumps on board pretty quickly. Like, okay, I'm with you. Let's break some laws.
Sure. Yeah.
There's a kid involved. So now it's a lot of sequences of them going places and beating up tattoo artists and shaking down slumlords.
I made a joke that it was Luke Gallows' tattoo shop, even though they've clearly filmed this before. Luke Gallows was part of WWE. Also of note, the slumlord, they're like talking. They literally in the same sentence they say, "I know you've got hundreds of legals living here. And they're only living here because they can't find any other place to live. But I will call and have you shut down and you locked up." Like, so you're just in the same breath. You're like, I know you're doing this because you're taking advantage of these poor people who can't live anywhere else. But I'm gonna kick them all in the streets just to vindictively lock you up for the weekend. That's basically what she says, and I'm just like, what? I literally, I did a double take on that. I was like, what? Well, that doesn't sound very nice. Thanks, Mrs. Officer, for threatening to make us homeless. We appreciate it.
Yeah, because that was like the guy's son. He was supposed to take him back to Russia,
Yeah, yeah.
but instead apparently strapped a bomb to him. Yeah, it's just a lot of them running around trying to figure stuff out. Turns out the guy in the beginning is out the next day because he's got good lawyers. He's just chilling at
Right.
home
You know, he
in the
only had a
suburbs.
federally illegal amount of fully automatic weapons in his disposal. Yeah, he was going to go to jail for a very long time. There's no
Couple
parole
shootout.
for that kind of violation, I'm pretty sure.
There's also some reason. Remember, they went in a building and they came out and his truck is just gone. They found out where a bomb maker was, and his truck's just gone, and they just
Yeah.
don't think anything of it, and they get in her car, and I'm like,
Yeah.
it's
Because
not
that's all.
bugged, it's not tapped, it's not gonna explode, it's just her car.
Yeah. But that's part of the whole thing. Like later on, when he gets arrested.
They put it somewhere, I guess.
Yeah, that's part of how they linked him up to the whole shebang. Like that was
Yeah, I didn't.
one of the pieces
I
of
didn't pay
evidence.
that
Whatever.
close attention to that.
I
I
remember
was
it
really
being key
confused
to
by
that.
that
I was
whole
like,
part.
why'd they steal the car? And then like later it comes into play. So,
Yeah,
but I
guess
mean,
wasn't paying attention to
barely.
that. Yeah, but then running all around, it's funny because it's like we got 4 hours, and then just like one cut later, like we have an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But yeah, they come and I'm just gonna skip to where they come. They grab Dolph. You know, Kane wants them in the office.
They take him to the fifth floor police station.
Yeah,
What? It's on the fifth
and they
floor.
have
I'm so
all
confused.
this evidence because apparently, we learn how the kid died. For some reason, Dolph let his young child play football in the street, and some drunk driver hit him.
A drunk
Who
police
was
officer. Yeah.
Yeah, and he tried to sue for $2 million, but apparently he didn't win.
Yeah, because I guess the cop had two DUIs, so they covered it up for him, and they basically railroaded him through his trial. I guess is the intention, or they gave him an option to pay off, and they paid him off. He probably took the payoff, or his wife took the payoff. Who knows?
His former partner that he shot, which
That's
he didn't really
isn't it?
shoot, was the one going over everything. He's like, so the whole idea of the setup, which didn't make any sense to me, was that he hired the Russians and they strapped the bomb to a kid so that he could get the $2 million that the
City didn't
state
pay.
owed him. Yeah.
Like what?
And then I was buying into it. I was like, that son of a bitch.
Yeah, you were. I was like, what? No,
I
fucking
thought it was a twist.
asinine.
I was excited. I'm like, there's a twist. Dolph Ziggler's bad.
Who's
But
bad?
no.
Dolph.
He ends up just beating
Ziggler.
up the bald guy and running through the police station, punching all the cops in the face.
Yeah, and then he gets cornered, gets shot 3 times with a beanbag gun from Kane, and yeah.
Then he jumps out like an open area. This was the strangest police station ever. It's like glass everywhere. And there's just some guy hanging there cleaning windows, which he jumps on and propels down. He's running, and the girl picks him up. Who was she? DEA? I don't remember what her call sign was. But she picks him up, and then she starts mentioning random shit that I wasn't paying attention to, like, oh, $2 million for you, and the yada yada with change is something to do with the brother who you had deported, who was then hung in Russia. So this was all revenge for his brother dying.
Supposedly.
Is this where they end up at the lumber yard?
Yes.
Looking
It was
around.
a scrapyard, I think.
There was a lot of logs.
I think, but there was also like vehicles
They were
and shit
chipping
there.
wood.
I thought there was like a
Yeah.
bunch of shit. I don't know. Maybe it was more than one thing there. It was a big lot, basically. Regardless,
I think those were spare parts for their loaders.
there was a lot of farm equipment. It's true. It's possible.
And they were looking around. They thought the kid might have been there. He calls some people in, which is the guy from the beginning and his goons. There's a car chase that leads to a lake, which was completely pointless because then they just grabbed him anyways from the car. But
Yep.
then probably the best scene where they just start kicking him and just shooting everyone in the car. And then he's about to get the main bad Russian guy is about to get shot in the neck, and he just nopes the fuck out of the vehicle.
Yeah, he smartly just dives out of the car like, fuck this shit. The second car is right behind the first car, and so
Yeah.
he gets into that one.
They continue to chase. And then he drops a grenade in the car and they blow up, which was a really badly made scene because they're driving and they're whole like, oh no, the grenade's on the floor. And then the scene of the car blowing up is just a non-moving car, just sitting still that they drove by when it blew up. But yeah, they're all blown up. And I was still waiting for a twist like Kane's bad or the partner's bad. But at some point they talked to a bomb maker. I don't know when that was. That was probably earlier. How do they figure out where the kid was in the police station? She figured out on the computer or something in her car?
Something like that?
It was like, it was being rerouted through your computer. And
oh,
hey,
right.
That security camera that I'm for some reason looking at from the police station. That's the guy you shot in the head. He has a kid in a trash can.
Yeah, like, okay.
So they rush back there. Even though he should be wanted, they run in. Somehow get in the basement.
No one notices that he goes right to the basement of the fucking police station. Was the police
Was
station
it a
only on the
different
fifth
building? Because they went through the front door with a kid with a bomb on him.
Dude, I thought it was the same police. I thought it was in the bowels of the police station. Was the idea?
It should have been, but
and I don't.
Went through the front door.
I think they just didn't give a shit. I think that's really what it boils down to. They got to the end of the filming and went, "This doesn't make sense. Fuck it, we'll film it." That was it.
Because I just like it. He comes in with this kid with a bomb on it. They're like, get out, and then Kane's just like, okay. We're gonna forget the fact that you just beat up a bunch of cops and you should be under arrest.
I know, right?
He does have a bomb on him, and they end up on some floor with the.
Yeah, they go in the elevator up several floors to some other lab at the police. It's apparently multi-level police station. Oh my god!
We should mention there's like mere minutes before this bomb blows up too, as they ride an elevator up with elevator music. Tell everyone to leave. She hands her, which I kept pointing out was nothing more than I can't remember the name of it. She hands him a freeze device, which was like a.
It was an airbrush, but it was just, as I explained, it was just the end of the nozzle of a pressurized system. I don't think it really matters what the object is. It's like the same concept as a nice squeeze one. The only difference is there's an intermediate, right? It's because the airbrush, the point is you put paint, but you don't need to have the paint bottle to send air through it. So I think they just use that so that they have the option to have that bottle in an intermediate. You know what I mean?
I think it's just cheap prop.
No, because I've seen those nozzles in labs before. So I think it's like it's the same thing, but I think it's so they can have the option to. So I don't think they have to have it attached. Like we saw it working without it attached, obviously. You know.
But he freezes it, takes the thing off very slowly, even though like you should probably actually time it. It was like
he's got a minute left.
Seconds.
He's got like 45 seconds left or whatever, and he's like.
I think he took like 3 minutes to get the kid out of the harness.
Yeah, it was terrible.
And then he's running with the kid, and then it cuts to an outside of a CGI explosion with no glass falling down.
Yep, just the window just spheres in an explosion. That's it.
And you get the shot of the crowd. They're all hush, and the music's playing. And he walks out the front door.
And of course, you know he was in the explosion because he's dirty. He's got just soot everywhere.
Which he wasn't. It wasn't even that big of an explosion. It was like just that room.
Killed one fucking office room. Yeah, it was enough to kill one kid. It wasn't even a threat.
Should we point out that the fucking police station was like a bunch of glass cubes all sticking out? Like
yeah, it was like I'm making a joke that it was like WWE's headquarters, but it really probably was one of their headquarter buildings.
These WWE films love ridiculous multi-story police stations because that was in the other one that we watched too.
Yeah, it was. It's just what the fuck, man.
But yeah, he saves the day. Kane shakes his hand. Good job. The other guy's like, how'd you know where the kid was? And so he gets punched in the face. Being a dick. I still think he was in on it.
There's no proof.
And then he walks off to some sweet soft rock licks.
It's clearly some archival music from like the SCW days of WWE. some piece of shit ballad song like nobody gives a fuck about. Some dude love wannabe knockoff character probably used.
He also gets to hug the girls, but he never hooks up with her.
Yeah, they kind of teased that, but they never went with the romance. So I appreciate that actually, not being completely conventional in that manner.
See, I thought he was still with his woman. He went home to her,
But
cried with her, laid in bed, and then later like
they said he
divorced,
was
and she got married
divorced.
to another cop.
Yeah,
But then I was
exactly.
like, is that before her? Is there
Or
another
or is
marriage?
that just that she totally understands and lets him fucking cry his eyes out in the room
Yeah,
whenever he wants? I mean, to
he
be
was.
fair, they might have an understanding. Like he just comes over and cries in the bedroom every now and then.
Yeah.
To be fair,
She's like,
you know,
I'm leaving you for another cop because he would have stopped a car from hitting our child.
yeah, whatever.
He wanted to play football in the street. I couldn't say no.
This movie. Oh my god. All right, what are your thoughts on this film?
It was dull. It
Dull.
was
Exactly.
generic.
Boring.
Uh, It's funny is like wrestlers are actors. Like they put on a persona, go out in the ring.
But
A
they
lot
act
like I
big.
can believe Dolph as a complete dick asshole in his character when he's bad guy.
Yeah, yeah.
But like in this he's like a piece of fucking wood.
It's because it's a different kind of acting. That's a big theatrical acting because they got to play to 30,000 people, right? And you put it on a film, it just looks flat and bad because they can't. They're not acting big; they're acting small, but they only know how to act big. Well, a lot of them only know how to act big. To be fair,
Plus the issue is Dolph's really good at being a bad guy when he's wrestling. Not
yes.
so much a good guy.
And they turned
So
him heel
like
right before the fucking movie came out for some reason, or right after it came out. What
so
I,
like
I, I just
Dolph as a bad guy in a movie would probably have been
I
much
don't know
better.
why WWE doesn't do more horror movies and just be like, let's get some young, like, edgy fucking horror guys to come in and do some PG-13 horror comedies, like Evil Dead with gore and that's it, or whatever. And then you can have actors acting huge and being fucking huge characters because it's ridiculousness, you know.
Yeah.
They're
And
just
like
fucking doing. They're putting their money in the wrong directions. That's the problem.
Kane is fine in this, but like
Yeah,
he
he's
just
the
always looks out
best
of place.
fucking wrestling actor in this movie. Better
He
than
just looks
fucking
out of
Lana.
place to me.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't stop staring at his like widow peak.
It's better than Rusev playing Rusev. I mean, like shit.
Yeah. I was like, he's Russian. He's obviously gonna be bad. Everyone else is Russian in
He's
this.
got a 3 second cameo, and Lana's got half that time right afterwards. It's like
He
three
just gets
second. He gets kicked. Cut to Lana looking over like, huh? And that's all there in the movie. But that's all that footage is in the trailer, by the way. Every last bit of that.
and while he did do a super kick and Kane did pick him up by the throat, almost the choke slam, I got knocked points off for no wrestling
A whole
moves.
fucking star because there wasn't a single identifiable wrestling move in the entire fucking movie. Not a no suplex, no DDT, no Russian leg sweep. I mean, like you can do a believable one. A German
There
suplex
was a
happens all the time. I mean, like in combat, you know, and like MMA and shit. So you can see someone who's trained just grabbing someone, fucking German suplexing, and unknowing motherfucker would obliterate them. Imagine you don't know what the fuck you're doing, and someone grabs you and throws you on your head. I mean, like, fuck, that's an effective move.
I
But
mean, the
no,
Marine knew what was up. He was like
yeah,
suplexing people through
fucking
fucking
rock bottom,
boxes.
some bitch, like just the Sambo suplex, or what they call that. Anyway,
I
what's it
don't know.
called? It's not a Sambo suplex. It's gonna bother me.
Nerd.
Yeah, it's a judo move. It's a very basic throw, and The Rock does
It's
it
not. It's
differently.
not a judo throw.
No, it's a basic throw. Anyway, what else? Anything else we missed?
I missed an hour and a half of my life.
Yes, exactly. And whatever money you spent on that thing.
I just noticed on the back is the super kick. Like it's there, guys. Also, Kane choking him. I'm like, there might be a choke slam,
I
guys.
know,
Check it
right? They're
out.
teasing you. Fuck. All right, so yeah, I give this movie 2 out of 5 stars.
I'd give it a 2.
Out of 5 stars, yeah, yeah. It's just terrible.
I want more blood, More bullets flying, less wham, my
More
kid's
German
dead.
suplexes, damn it.
Much
More.
less complicated story of like, ooh, they're framing you. Who gives a
And
shit? All we need to know, kid with a bomb on it. He has a certain amount of time. Find that kid.
and
Go.
if you're gonna tease sudden death with a wrestling event, just do sudden death with a wrestling event.
We were so pumped for sudden death at a wrestling event.
Just go watch sudden death, do it beat for beat, change the beats to something different, and but the same story plot, and just fucking go. Sudden death was on a wrestling event. How cool is that? And I said, I proposed, I was like, I would do it this way. First 30 minutes, you're setting up the whole premise, and then you get the ransom note, and it says, at the next WWE event, there's an Iron Man match. You're not allowed to enter the building until the Iron Man match begins. When it begins, there'll be a bomb that's at 60 minutes. That'll go off in 60 minutes when the Iron Man match finishes. If you can find and disable the bomb, you win. Otherwise, you have 60 minutes. Go. That would be like it. And the whole last hour of the movie is a live him looking through the building, fighting thugs and shit. You know.
Some of the wrestlers have to be in on it that are bad. The
Yeah.
heels, obviously.
Cut back to like the Iron Man match happening in the ring, and then reveal to the audience that oh, here's what it is. It's the bombs in the ring, but he's in the building somewhere, and you got to find him because he's got the switch. So cut back so that you can keep going to the match, and you can go back to do the fucking touch of evil, peer down and peer inside underneath the ring. You see a big bomb with a big countdown clock that's ludicrous, like that. And that
Also,
dude, I could direct this movie, and I've never directed a fucking movie in my life. I had made this movie better immediately.
And a lot of the heels are in on it, so we just see a lot of wrestlers being killed.
Dolph Ziggler's got to fight actual wrestlers, and like, so he's like wrestling wrestlers in the back of like WWE building and shit.
Also, bad one-liners.
There's got a lot of bad one-liners. Yeah, hang around as he drops some guy and hangs him from the rafters or whatever, you know.
Like I said, I was telling you earlier, I was watching Death Ring, and he cuts Billy Drago's head off. And then when he's leaving, the guy's like, "Where's so-and-so?" And he's like, "He lost his head."
That's
or
such
something
a
like
cheesy
that.
line. He lost his head.
Dreamcatcher.
Just, oh yeah, Dreamcatcher. That was terrible. Alright, so, yeah, that's a rating. Do not recommend it. Please skip it for your own sanity. Just watch Sudden Death. It's a better movie. In fact, we should probably watch Sudden Death at some point.
Or you can buy it on Blu-ray.
Yeah. For those who are going to join us next week, we are watching Canadian exploitation gold from 1989, shot on video monster film called Things. Yeah, this is so bad it's good, quote unquote. I don't like that phrase, but this is the first Canadian shot on Super 8 gore shocker made for the VHS market. It remains perhaps the most bizarre, depraved, and mind-boggling chunk of Canucksploitation ever unleashed upon humanity. So, yeah. Oh, hey, it's Barry J. Gillis and Amber Lynn star in this surreal saga of two friends who visit a remote cabin, only to discover a womb of monstrous horror that demands graphic dismemberment. So you excited for this movie now?
Sure, if there's a womb.
Well, there's a bunch of little creepy crawlers that get murdered.
Well, I'm expecting a giant womb they come out of.
I've never seen the movie, so, you know. But yeah, dude. Like, I have a feeling it would go well with mutilations, so.
But we already teamed that with something.
I know we did. I'm just saying. Anyway. So yeah, that's what we're watching next week. Things. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everyone. So, any last words?
I'd say if you're a smark and you get a hard-on for WWE, then you have to go watch this, obviously.
Obviously.
Otherwise, then there's plenty of 80s action movies that'll fill the need of this.
Sudden Death.
That's 90s.
Yeah, I know. It's even better than this one.
I mean,
the
he
90s action
punches,
movies were starting to suck, by the way, by that time. So Sudden Death was like a rare treat.
I'm pretty sure he fights the Penguins mascot in that one, so there you go.
Yeah, it's much better, much more entertaining than Countdown. All right, so we'll see you next week. Maybe. We may not be on next week. Just depends. Probably going to be on next week, but regardless, the next time you see us, it'll be Things from 1989. From Intervision.
Yes.
On DVD or VHS, your choice. Peace out, guys.